we are going to continue working on strong and weak forms. But first, we are going to play a game. And this game is called Would You Rather? For this game, I need you to unmute your mics because I want to hear your answers. Can you do that for me, please? I don't know if you are here because I can only see your mics that are off. I don't know if you came back from the break. Hello, Diego.
Hello, Miss.
Hello.
Hello, Bastian. So, would you rather letter A, be invisible or be able to fly? On the count of 3, I want to hear your answers. 1, 2, 3.
Letter B,
B.
able to fly.
A. Be invisible.
A. Who said A?
Me.
Me.
I want to know one of you why would you rather be invisible instead of being able to fly?
Because you can like go to a bank and steal like all the money and you can get away or something like that.
You can basically become a thief without being noticed, right?
Exactly.
And the ones that said B, be able to fly, why would you rather be able to fly than being invisible?
Because I think that be able to see everything from the sky, it can be beautiful.
Can be beautiful. You can be like Superman, right?
Yes, of
Maybe
course.
you can become famous.
It
Because
can be interesting.
Yeah, definitely, it can be very interesting. So the next one is: would you rather spend a week in the forest, like in a tent, camping, or spend one night in a real haunted house? What would you rather? On the count of 3, please give me your answers. 1, 2, 3.
Letter A.
Totally B.
B.
B. Totally B. Very interesting.
Do you like horror? Do you like ghost stories?
No,
No?
but it's haunted. That doesn't mean that has ghosts. Only is haunted.
And it's
But
less time.
it's less time,
Has
that's
ghosts,
true.
but it's interesting too.
It's interesting, right? You can perhaps even start recording your experience on the house. Maybe you can become famous afterwards if they were to happen real ghosts. Next one. Would you rather being able to read minds or to predict the future? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Letter B.
Hey, able to read minds.
A.
The person who says being able to read minds, why would you rather that over the other one?
Because in my case, would be very interesting know what the people are thinking about me.
But it can be very dangerous as well.
Yes,
You
but
you may get some
The side
information.
has the wrong side, the wrong things,
Yeah.
the bad things in this case.
Yeah, you may find out about some bad news that you didn't knew before. But being able to predict the future is also like a little bit dangerous, because what are you going to do with that information? It's kind of tricky. Next one. Would you rather lose all of your teeth or lose all of your hair? On the count of 3.
D.
1, 2, 3.
B.
B. I think I will choose letter B as well. Why A? Who said Who said A? Gaspar, was it you?
Because the teeth, the people can see it if I have the mouth closed, but my hair is impossible to hide.
But what about the feeling you are going to feel inside your mouth? Isn't that going to be more uncomfortable than losing your hair? Like,
Yes, it's more uncomfortable.
I mean,
But I
the
can
hair
drink
too.
soap.
Bastian?
But I can drink things even without it.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
No me gusta.
Now this one, would you rather be rich with no friends or be poor and popular with a lot of friends? On the count of three, 3, 2, 1.
Letter B.
Hey,
I don't know. I'm in the middle. Very difficult answer question.
Well, some people say that you can buy some friends with money, right? So maybe if you don't have friends but you're rich, you can maybe pay someone to be your friend. That's very sad though. If you want to pay
Friends don't
someone.
last forever.
more popular than Farkas.
Yes. Now, this is the last one. Look strong but be weak, or to look weak but be strong. What would you rather? 3, 2, 1.
Letter
A.
B.
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 Oh, no, sorry. B.
B. You
I
would
prefer
rather. Huh? Go ahead. Yes. Yeah. You wanted to say something? No. Well, I think I will also will prefer looking weak but actually being strong, because what if someone asks you to lift something very heavy and they all are expecting you to do something and then you are not able to? That's going to be humiliating, isn't it?
It's tricky, and it can be interesting for bets or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. So now, as you can see here, we have the words strong and weak and strong, and that's exactly what we are. I mean, the concepts are the same of the ones that we have been covering during this lesson, that are strong and weak forms. And I was going to do a big recap of, I mean, not that big, but I was going to take a lot of time in this, but as you have already covered all of this, I don't think I'm going to stop this much on this. But as you already know, English can be pronounced in two different ways. I mean, English words can be pronounced in two different ways: content words and function words. In English, like I said, are divided into these two groups. And on the content words, we have verbs, nouns, adjectives, and adverbs. And in the function words, we have auxiliary, modals, verbs, modal verbs, prepositions, conjunctions, pronouns, and articles. The content words sometimes are also called lexical words, and function words are also sometimes called grammatical words. And I was planning to make you read this, but basically in the first paragraph it says that weak forms are opposite to strong
Ay, la
forms.
vinieron a dejar. Cierren.
Are the opposite to strong forms, which are the full form of the word, that it's pronounced with more stress and it has more emphasis, as you saw in the previous exercise. And weak forms are usually pronounced with schwas, with the vowel schwa, and is more weak. Therefore, sometimes it's more difficult to identify when people are saying that word because it's so weak. And as you know, schwa is never stressed, so that's why it can be more difficult to hear, because it's not that prominent. When native people speak, they connect their words. Their words. Therefore, it's called a connected speech. And this connected speech is a mixture between strong and weak forms. When that people that it's learning English, so we are not aware that the words have weak forms, and it's mainly because we tend to pronounce them as we think they sound. But when we are pronouncing them all together in sentences or in more longer, for instance, paragraphs or in longer sentences, we should use weak forms because it helps to make the whole speech to sound more natural, and and also because for people that it's a native speaker, they don't usually pronounce the words in the strong form all the time. They use weak and strong forms together, and for them it can be hard to understand what we are saying if we only use strong forms. So that's why we should mix both of them. Now we have this sentence right here that says, I want to go to the cinema. The thing is that, for instance, here it says, I don't think I'm using the, wait a minute. Here it says, Aniti, that weak forms are not as important within the sentence. And it's mainly because, as we know, grammatical words or function words do not carry meaning on their own. And for instance, if I told you the sentence, I want to go to the cinema, if I only say want to go cinema, you may have like an idea of what I want to say. But for instance, if I say I to the, you don't really know what I'm talking about. And as function words help us to construct the sentence, they and they don't have a meaning, they usually will sound more weak within the sentence because what they are adding to it is not as important as the main verbs or nouns in this case. If you have any questions, just ask me. It's okay. Now we have that constructions are already weak forms, and we can see, for example, that we have I am French, which is a strong form, and I'm French, which is a weak form. And in this case, the spelling is telling us that I'm French is the weak form of I am French, but usually this doesn't happen because there is not usually there is not a change in the spelling of the words, but only the pronunciation is different. As you can see here, we have but, which weak form is bet, but the word, it's written the same. It doesn't change. And for instance, in the case of tell him to go, the strong form of this word is, of this sentence will be tell him to go. But as we are pronouncing all of these together, the weak form will be, and the more natural way of saying this will be tell him to go. Because as you have here, as we can see, the grammatical words him and to are unstressed and have a weak form when it's pronounced inside a sentence. So when these words are isolated, we pronounce them as him and to, but when they are inside a sentence, we pronounce the weak forms that are and to. And finally, we have that sometimes when we have words, this is basically what we just said. When we have words that are isolated, they may have a different pronunciation than when they are in a sentence. For instance, in this case, we have a car, but when it's in a sentence, is I bought a car. It's not I bought a car, but I bought a car. The way you pronounce this part is different from this one, right? So now I am going to need your help to pronounce this. And I am going to do the first one, but I want you to help me with the examples afterwards. So the word is a, but the weak form is a. And the example is, it's a little bit funny, and I need a pencil. I mean, I need a pencil. It's not a, it's a little bit funny, but it's a little bit funny. So, Adeli, are you there? No, I think she's not. Bastian, Elvia,
Yes.
can you read one of those two examples for me, please?
Strong, weak, neither.
You can try both of them. It's okay.
Okay. With the strong, it's a little bit funny. Weak, it's a little bit funny. The second, I need a pencil. And when it's weak, I need a pencil.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So the second one is an. And when it's the weak form is an. As an example, we have I ate an orange. I ate an orange. And he's an astronaut. He's an astronaut. Now, Camila Gonzalez, I think she was having problems with her mic. Yeah. Diego Farias. Diego? I don't think he can speak. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes. He can. Can you read the examples or the strong or weak forms or whatever you want to read? Because I want to hear you pronouncing the names.
I can say the strong forms of the example.
Okay, go ahead, please.
How can I pronounce the past form of eat?
Eight.
Ate. I ate an orange.
Okay.
And he is an astronaut.
Okay. Thank you very much. When you have the weak form, it's an. So it's I ate an orange and he's an astronaut. That's the weak form. Now we have the word and the weak form can be n or just n. For example, fish and chips, salt and pepper, or me and you. Do you notice how, for instance, in the only one, it's only pronounced the n sound? Me and you. Diego Troncoso.
Yes.
Can you pronounce the examples, please?
Okay. In the strong form, fish and chips, salt and pepper, and me and you. And in the weak form, fish and chips, salt and pepper, and me and you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Now the word is ah. And the weak form is just a schwa. The example is how are you? Or I am pronouncing the weak forms, by the way. Or I am going to the party. Are you going? Are you going? Gaspar, can you pronounce the weak, the strong, or both of them in this example, please?
Yes, no problem.
Thank you very much.
strong form R and weak R.
Perfect. So now we are in the strong, in the word do. And I just wanted to say, if you want to practice this, you can say them out loud together with me. It is not necessary for you to turn on your mics, but just practice the way these two forms are pronounced, because pronouncing them is the best way you can really understand how different they are. So just try pronouncing them at home on your own. So the word do, and the weak form is da. And the example is, do you want to practice, or do you have the time? And now, Héctor Espinosa, can you please read the examples or the phonemes of the strong and the weak form, or the examples on this strong, on the pronouncing them with the strong or the weak form?
Examples with do, ¿cierto? All right.
Yes.
Right. No, I can't.
Okay. And can you pronounce after me the way you pronounce the the strong and weak forms? Can you do that?
Yes.
So the strong form is do.
Do.
Do. Perfect. And the weak form is da.
Da.
Da. It's the same D but with the schwa. So you just need to let your jaw drop like So it's da. So that was it. Thank you very much. The next one is that. And the weak form is that. The same thing that happened before. It's just a schwa, so you just need to relax your mouth. And the example is, I need to know that you're safe. Ignacio Jofre, are you there, Ignacio?
Yes.
Can you pronounce the phonemes or the example, please?
I need to know that you are safe.
Yes, perfect. I need to know that you're safe. Thank you very much. Now we have the word can. And the weak form is can. The example is, can I ask you a question? Or you can have one if you like. Javiera de la Fuente, are you there, Javiera? I remember that you weren't able to speak, so it's okay if you cannot speak. Kelly Valdez? Kelly, are you there, Kelly?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Can you pronounce, it's okay. Can you pronounce the strong or the weak form or the examples, please?
Can you give me a hand because I don't hear good because in my house are much noise.
It's okay. Do you want to repeat after me the strong and the weak forms?
Yes.
So the strong form is can.
Can.
Perfect. That sounded very nice. And the weak form is can.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Now the next one is to. And the weak form is just to. And the example is, I'm going to work. I'm going to work. Mariano Lopez, are you there, Mariano? Can you listen?
Yes.
Can you pronounce the strong and the weak form or the example, please?
I'm going to work.
Yes,
I'm
that
going.
was a strong form, right?
Yes. And I'm going to work.
I'm going to work. Perfect. That was the weak form there. Thank you very much, Mariana. So the next word is you. I mean pronoun. It's you. And the weak form is ja. Ja. The example is, I want you to know. I want you to know. And the second one is, I told you before. I told you before. Marieta Bueno. Can you speak, Marieta?
Miss,
Yes.
I don't understand the difference.
The difference that, for instance, in the first form, in the strong form, you have that it's a long vowel. First of all, it's a long vowel, and in the second one, you have the schwa. So in the first one, I don't know if you can hear well because there are some dogs barking outside. But in the first one is you, and in the weak form is ja. Ja.
Oh, okay.
So it's you and yeah. Ja.
Okay. The strong form is I want you to know, and the weak form is I told you before.
Tell you. Perfect. Thank you very much, Marieta. Next verb is have. Have. And the weak form is have. Have. For instance, as in the strong form, it will be have you seen the news? And in the weak form, it will be have you seen the news? Nicolás Duran. Are you there, Nicolás Duran? Can you speak, Nicolás Duran? Is your mic working? Apparently, it is not. Omar. Are you there, Omar?
Yes.
Great.
Strong is have you seen the news? And the weak is have you seen the news?
Excellent. So it's have and have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. And now, this is the last one of these ones. So the last three people are going to pronounce the same one. I'm so sorry. I thought you were going to, less people was going to attend this session. I'm very glad you did attend. It's of, and the weak form is of. So again, the strong form is of, and the weak form is of. The example is a piece of cake or a cup of tea. Pia Cerda, are you there, Pia? Can you speak, Pia?
Yes.
Can you read the strong and weak forms or the examples, please?
Yes. A piece of cake, a cup of tea.
Cup of tea. Can you read that again, please? Are you pronouncing the weak or the strong form?
The strong form.
The strong form, perfect.
A piece of cake, a cup of tea.
A cup of tea, perfect. Now, Sebastián Camano, I think.
Yes.
Can you pronounce the strong or weak forms or the examples, please?
Okay. Only the strong forms or both?
You can pronounce the weak forms if you want. It's up to you. I just want to hear how you pronounce the phonemes.
A piece of cake.
Okay, that was a strong, right?
Yes. A cup of tea. That's
The
the
last,
strong.
yeah. And can you pronounce the weak forms?
All right.
Please.
A piece of cake.
A piece of cake.
A cup of tea.
A cup of tea. Perfect. Nice pronunciation. Valentina Valdez.
Yes.
Can you pronounce the weak and the strong form or the examples, please?
Okay, I'm gonna do the strong one. A piece of cake. A cup of tea.
A cup of tea. And can you do the weak form?
A piece of cake. I mean, it's kind of difficult because there's not really like a big difference.
Yeah, it's kind of similar, right? It's come of, and of. It's like a little bit shorter.
A piece of cake. A piece of cake.
And a cup of tea.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So now, as you can see there, we have that a weak form will never end a sentence. So whenever you have a word that has a weak form at the end of a sentence, it is never going to be pronounced as a weak form. It is always going to be pronounced as the strong form. So for example, there you have, chips are what I am fond of. It's not what I'm fond of, but of. Like there's an emphasis on the last element. Now, I need you to go to this page that it's www.joinpd.com. If you are working on your phone, don't worry, because this page is going to show you the same screen that Teams is showing you, so you are also going to be able to see the lesson. Remember, www.joinpd.com. And now I am going to share another screen that
What is the code for this page?
I am going to give you the code once I can load the page. Give me a second, please.
Don't
Bear
worry.
with me. So I am going to share my screen again. Wait. For some reason, I thought my background was blurry. Now you can see that I have a plushie right there. This one. Oh. No. I didn't share the screen with the option sound, and we need the sound for the next exercise. So yes. I am going to give you the code as soon as this, because as you may see, my internet, it's not the fastest. Was working during the break, so just this is giving me flashbacks from the previous hour.
Don't worry, miss.
Don't want to work. It's okay. I mean, I was panicking a little bit. This session was very important for me, but I am more relaxed now. The thing is that with this page, you can write your answers. So that's why I wanted to use it, because sometimes it's a little bit difficult to share all the screens at once. Or some of you have problems just like me to share your screens. So this, it's not an app, but these this extension for Chrome allows you to do that. So there you go. New session. So can you see a code? I don't know why this is
No, I can see the code.
You cannot. Okay, give me a second. I think it's because the app just wants to log in again, even though it was already I was already logged with my account. So I just wait, please. I am so sorry, by the way. Do you now that we have a couple of minutes, do you understand the difference? Can you differentiate the pronunciations when you listen to them? Or do you still have problems identifying when we are using which?
I think it's clear.
It's clear? I am asking you this because even though I knew this information before, sometimes I still struggle remembering some information. So we are going to test this platform. I don't think it gave you the code, right? It didn't give you the code.
No.
I don't know what's happening. This didn't happen before.
About the last question,
Yes?
I think it depends of the speaker. If I can notice the difference.
Yeah.
If you want, you can. If you can send the code for the chat group.
Yeah, but I would if if it actually gave me a code. It didn't give me a code for me. That was what it was interesting. Regarding your comment, I didn't saw the chat, so I don't know who was speaking. But yeah, sometimes some people speak very fast, and when they do that, is a little bit difficult even to understand what they are saying. But in general, when people, for instance, speak fast, is because they have a lot of weak forms and they are maintaining the rhythm. So it also, I think, depends on the accent of the person, because some accents are a little bit harder to understand than others. Some accents are more easy, but there are some that are very, very difficult. I don't know if I can. I didn't want to use Google Drive because it's a little bit. I mean, it takes more time to set everything. But this website only works on Google Drive, so I didn't have any other choice than to do this. Still loading. From what I remember, when I selected the option to start a presentation, it should have opened a new tab, and it didn't. So I'm thinking that's maybe the problem. If I am going to try one more time. If this doesn't work, I am going to use my phone to play you the recordings because of the time. this is taking too much time that I don't have. So we are just going to do the. We're going to do this activity answering only on. Oh, there you go. Up. Oh. It again didn't give me the code. Can you see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes, just your screen right.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's loading something. God only knows what it's loading. Now you can't see anything because I cannot see anything. This is really annoying. I'm so sorry. Yeah, we're only doing the. It's not even showing me only the questions, so we can. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. There, that's the word. So the first one is. Are you kidding me? This is really unfortunate because I worked with the presentation. I tested out the presentation beforehand, and it worked. It worked last night and today morning, and when it was class time, it just decided to stop functioning. So it's very annoying. I am giving it a bad review, even though probably it's just my internet connection. But anyways, the first one is, it's not. It is not. The, what time is it? It's already time. I think because of time, we are only going to be able to do the first, like 2 exercises. And after that, it's going to, I mean, the first, perhaps more than 2, but we are not going to do the last exercise that was planned for today. You are bad. Once again, strong and weak forms. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, miss.
Yes. Thank you for your answer. Now we have to wait.
Miss, what happened with the code?
Code? The app never gave me the code. It just started the presentation for some reason, but it didn't open the second tab in which you can see the answers, or you can choose to see the class as a teacher or as a student. So I don't know why the app did. I mean the page did that. It was the first time that it opened like that. So I don't know what was happening. And yeah, I was not waiting for you.
Rip code. Could be. I could say rip code. Rest in peace.
You are already close, and you keep messing up. Yeah, R.I.P. Am I right? So the first one was the sentence was, "Can we wait for the bus?" And the instructions were answer the questions focusing on the underlined word. Is the man using the strong or the weak form of can? The audio it's very short, so I am going to play the audio a couple of times for you. This is the first time. This wasn't the first time. Wait. Oh. My no.
We can wait for the bus.
Could you listen to that or not? Because as the connection is lost, I don't think I am going to be able to play the audio from.
We could hear, but was too fast for me.
It was what?
Fast, very fast.
Yeah, very fast. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I will.
We can wait for the bus.
Again?
No, was
we can wait for the bus.
And once again.
We can wait for the bus.
So, was the man using the strong or the weak form? Could you be able to tell?
We can wait for the bus.
Strong? I think it's strong.
Yes. Could you be able to listen to that? Could you listen that? Could you listen the audio?
Nope.
No? Oh, sorry.
We can wait for the bus.
So that was, in that case, this was just the first example. He was using we can wait for the bus. He was, we can wait for the bus. I think it's better if I read the sentences because technology is not working for me today. With me today. So the sentence is, he wants to come and see us in home. He wants to come and see us in home. Is that the strong or the weak form? What do you reckon? Can you listen to me? Or I am muted?
We are listening to you.
Oh, thank you very much. What do you reckon? Was that the strong or the weak form? He wants to come and see us in home. Remember to focus on the underlined word. He wants to come and see us in home.
The strong form?
The strong form? Do you remember how was the strong form of that word? In that case, if I'm not mistaken, it was two. And the way the man was pronouncing, I know you cannot listen to it, but it was like two. It was more short, definitely. So in this case, it was the weak form because it was, he wants to come and see us at home.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your answer. The next one was, I never thought about it. I never thought about it. Once again, I never thought about it. I never thought about it. What do you reckon? It is the strong or the weak form of I?
The weak form.
The weak form.
Why the weak form?
Because you don't start to say I. You said
Perfect. That's the answer. I didn't use the strong form because just like you said, I didn't say, I never thought about it. I say, I never thought about it. I didn't pronounce the diphthong, right? So next one is, my mom and I will be there. My mom and I will be there. What do you reckon? Is the strong or the weak form? My mom and I will be there. My mom and I will be there.
the weak form.
The weak form. And how is it pronounced in the weak form? The word and perfect. Thank you very much. And this was the last one. And I really want you to listen to this one. So I can. No, this was, I'm sorry, this is not the last one. This one is, today is the best day of my life. Today is the best day of my life. What do you reckon, the strong or the weak form? Today is the best day of my life.
Strong form.
Strong form? And what about now? Today is the best day of my life. Today is the best day of my life.
I think it's off. You say off and not off.
Now I am saying of, and in the previous one I say of. Listen to it again. This is the weak form. Today is the best day of my life. Today is the best day of my life. And now in the strong forms, today is the best day of my life. Today is the best day of my life. This one is a little bit tricky, but because it's very similar. So you need to pay put an eye on it. So this one is the last one. And
come on.
I'm sorry, that was an ad. Just what I need now, an ad.
I can do it.
In the first one, in this example, she pronounces the same verb twice. So I want you to pay attention on the first time she pronounces the verb.
I can do it. I never thought about it.
That was the previous one.
I can do it. I can do it.
In the verb that's underlined, is she using the strong or the weak form?
The strong.
Strong.
The strong form, right? And in the second time she pronounces the verb.
And the weak form.
The weak form, right? She says, I can do it, right?
Yes.
She's pronouncing the first one as a strong form and the second one as a weak form. So then we were supposed to do an exercise, but because of the time and because probably you have more classes now, we will not be able to do it. But I am going to use this chart to summarize some of the aspects of today's lesson. Some of these words are all of these words are words that we usually use and while we are speaking, and these are some of the ones I think we use the most, together with the ones we already practiced during the lesson. And as you told me, when, for instance, we have the you didn't tell me, but you told Mr. Bruno. When we have, for instance, the nouns or the main verbs, those words are going to be pronounced as strong forms, and when we have grammar. It's not grammar words, grammatical words. When we have grammatical words such as prepositions, conjunctions, articles, etc., etc., it is very likely that we are going to use the weak form in order to maintain the rhythm in our sentences. Because if we pronounce each word in a sentence only using strong forms, it's not going to sound natural. And for a native speaker to go, it's probably going to sound unnatural because they are used to pronouncing strong and weak forms together. And for us, that this is a more newer concept, it may be difficult, but it's not for them. So, for instance, when we have in the first one, that's an article a. Yes, a. Sometimes it can be also a, but in the weak form, it's going to be a schwa, a. So we need to be aware of the context of the sentence, whether it's an unstressed word, and we have to also pay attention to the importance that this word plays in a sentence in order to identify if we should pronounce each word as strong. As a strong or a weak form. It also depends on the emphasis we want to give them to the words. And I think that will be it for today's lesson. I am so sorry for all the technical issues I had today. I think this is the first time I really struggle with a presentation because the other sessions were just fine, but this one really did want to give an impression. So I think that was everything for today's session. Do you have any questions? Or for instance, if you want to know how are some of these words pronounced, you can ask me.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Do you think with practice listening, we will have the skill to notice the difference perfectly.
I think the word perfectly is a very big, strong word because it comes from perfection. But I do think that if you listen to a lot of people speaking, it is not only going to be more easy for you to notice when to use the strong or the weak forms, but you are also going to after you listen to it a lot, you are going to do that unconsciously afterwards. You are not going to be like, oh, I have to pronounce this word as a strong form or as a weak form. You are only if you listen to people's in their like speaking naturally, you are going to be able to do that without even noticing. So if you do that, it's going to help you, and it's also going to help your fluency, because you are after that you probably are going to be able to speak in a more fluent way, because you are going to be more used to how to connect the words better. Therefore, fluency it's going to be affected in a good way. And the answer is yes. I think if you practice listening, it is going to help you a lot to identify them. Even though sometimes there are some people that speak in a very particular way in which it is very difficult to understand them. But in general, practice makes perfection. So if you keep practicing them, it is very likely that you are going to be able to understand them, to identify them better with time. I don't know if I question or not.
Yes, you answered that question very well.
Thank you for your question, Bastian. I am here to answer them. So, Mr. Bruno, you wanted to say something?
Not really, not really. Thank you for your lesson, for the session, and for everyone's participation. Very clear, very nice, and interesting activities. I think we need to finish the session. I think everyone must have something to do. I have a literature class to attend now, so I'm going to excuse myself. All right. See you, everyone. Which is, I believe, next Thursday.
Yes.
Thursday.
No,
Yeah.
Thursday. Yeah,
right?
today's Tuesday.
Thursday.
Thursday.
All right. All right. Thank you, Gaspar. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
See you, teacher. Bye bye.
Have a nice day.
Have a good day.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Take care.